is up, everybody? How are we all doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing just fine. I'm doing good myself. Today is currently August 28th, about 5 p.m. I'll make this video really quick before I go on my run. This video is a very beginner-friendly video when it comes to day trading strategies. If you're looking for a very complex strategy with a high explanation, with a lot of explanation, this isn't the video for you. But hopefully, you find some benefit out of it, whether it be you're a beginner trader or you've been trading in the markets and you need a reminder to sometimes keep it simple and kind of just get back to the fundamentals and the basics. With that being said, let's go ahead and open up my Weeble account and talk about today's success in the stock market. So, how can I do this? Alright, so today, August 28th, yeah, August 28th, we made just a little over $900 today. I took a total of 3 trades, and I currently have 1 open position that I will close tomorrow morning right at the open, which is a Weeble call. They had earnings, they bumped up about 2%. Not sure if I'll end up making anything off of it, just because of IV and such, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Today we're going to talk about the strat that I use to make the money that I did. So specifically on CrowdStrike. So on the 3 plays that I made today were all put plays. Puts, meaning I was betting against the market. I was shorting the market, and 1 was on coin, 2 were on crowd, and 1 of them I actually got stopped out on crowd. I ended up losing, I think, about $36, but that's okay because the next play ended up paying over $500, and it was about a 20-something% return. So let's go ahead and go to history here. We got a CrowdStrike, as you guys can see. Boom. CrowdStrike holdings today was over a $500 return. How can I look at I'm not sure if I'm able to look at like percentage wise how much it ended up being. Still figuring out Weeble and how it works, but yeah. So anyways, let's go ahead and look at the actual stock price itself. So the reason I decided to trade CrowdStrike today is because it had massive volatility, massive volume today. The reason being it reported earnings. It reported earnings yesterday after the market closed, and as you guys can see from the chart, let's go to the 5-minute chart. This is what the stock price looked like when it reported earnings. Boom, tank city. But what ends up happening is the stock starts to make a comeback, right? So initial sell-off, high volume, high volatility due to the news of their earnings report, and some buying pressure steps back in, pretty much fills the gap that it opened up during that initial sell-off. So when the market opened today, it had an initial push upwards, and we saw some resistance at this level, right? Clearly today play would have been to play calls, to go long on the stock. But there was money to be made on both sides. And, guys, you can hate on me, you can say whatever. The results speak for themselves. I ended up banking on this play. Shorting in the stock market is definitely not recommended or encouraged for beginners. But if you are going to trade, regardless of if you're going to go long or short in the market, if you're going to buy calls or puts or shares or short the market, you should know about what is called support and resistance, and that is the simple strategy that I am going to be talking about today, and why I decided to enter short into the market, and why I ended up making some good money, and how I ended up making some good money. So initially I was in Coinbase, so I didn't catch any of this initial move in CrowdStrike, but after I exited my Coinbase trade, I did see that when we pumped up right to this level right here, what happens? The price starts to retrace a little bit. Of course, it bounced back up, and this is around the time where I entered. I wanted to enter short. So, zoom in a little bit. You guys can see price initially bounced up, pulled back, once again bounced up, pulled back. At this level, it continued to pull back even towards here. I saw a clear level of what we would call resistance right here. A little pullback. Once again, a little pullback at that level. So I was noticing a pattern, right? I was noticing a pattern of, okay, maybe this was my thought process. The stock is overbought. The initial news, off the initial news we sold off, yes, we recovered, but we're pretty much at the level. If you guys can see, we're just right above that level where we sold off yesterday. So I was thinking, well, price does not look like it wants to get above that level, so I ended up entering short here, and I ended up pulling this little downtrend about to 430. Now the stock ended up continuing upwards eventually, but thankfully I was able to catch a little downwards move and get paid a little bit. So support and resistance is very fundamental when it comes to the stock market, guys. Whether you are trading, whether you are swing trading, whether you are day trading, whether you are looking to trade options, futures, whatever it may be, you should understand what the heck support and resistance is, also known as supply and demand. So how can we mark out support and resistance, or supply and demand? Well, you gotta understand, what a stock is, and price action. So when it comes to the market, we're gonna go ahead and just look at CrowdStrike, because that's what the example we've been using, right? And you guys know this, stocks go up and they can also go down. So during this initial sell-off here, right? Let's say you saw a move like this during market hours, right? Let's say you could trade this move and you were in this trade, or you were watching it. once price is down here, you don't know if it's gonna go back up or go back down. But what would your immediate thought be? You're gonna be like, oh, price is going down. Short it, right? Go with the trend. But what do you see happens here? We start to trade sideways a little bit. We're failing to make lower lows. We're not really going below this level. That is what we would call support. Right? That is what we would call support in a stock. Where there is a level that is supported by buyers. Do not end up going down. You guys get what I'm saying? So, sorry. Keep having to switch here. There we go. Yep. So we see price is supported at this level. We see some flat here. And initial spike up. Right? Now, what does the stock do? It comes back to this level. Now, this is a level that I would also mark as support. Why? Because we bounced. But then this would be like resistance. Why? Because we pulled back. So, obviously, this does not mean just, oh, when a stock gets to this level, if it comes down here, buy it so that it goes up, and when it goes down here, buy so it goes down. If stocks were that simple, then everybody would be a winner, and it would be really hard to lose in the stock market, but it's not that simple. This is more to keep you guys aware that if you are buying a stock and not watching the levels that the market is at, then you are being foolish. You are making irrational decisions. If you believe that the stock is going to go lower, let's just say this stock pulled back here, and then it bounced, and then it started to come back down to this level. If you decide that at this level, it is a good time to short it, thinking that it's going to go below this, there's really no reason. There's not much of a reason why. Because history has showed you that at this level, price does not want to go more down. And at this level, why would you go long? Price showed you that last time it got to this level, it rejected and came down. So this is a very, very clear reminder. Not a perfect strategy, but it is something you should implement in your trading. Maybe you already have a strategy that you're doing, but take a second, take a step back and look at the market. Is the market at a key support level? Is it at a key resistance level? Let's just look at the S&P 500 really quick. Let's go to the daily chart. Or let's go to the 4-hour. We can do that. So, stocks do not always move exactly the same. But, look at this. This is a 4-hour chart right here on the SPY. Okay, 4-hour chart here on the SPY. What does price do? It comes up to this level, pulls back. What does price do when it gets around this level again? It pulls back a little bit. Why would you decide to enter in this level just because price is going up? You should always look at history. You should always look at patterns. And don't be irrational. So yeah, if a stock you see start going up, take a step back and say, yes, the stock's going up. But where is it going to? Is it going to previous resistance? Are we at previous resistance? It is just something to keep in mind. Now, this is just an introductory video to supply and demand, to support and resistance. Absolutely look up a better video than this one. I just wanted to show you guys how I made my quick and simple trade. It was literally, I want to say, a 5-minute trade, and it was very, very smooth. I caught rejection off that level. I sold very quickly. Because why? Because price showed me previously that if I am going to enter short at a resistance level, there are levels where the stock is going to get bought right back up. So let's say stock's going up, then it comes down, and then you end up buying here at the bottom, and then it goes up and you're up 20%, and it's at that level where it had previously been, where it ended up coming back down. Take your profits. Yeah, it might break through that level and skyrocket, but we have to look at history. Patterns tend to repeat themselves, but they don't always have to. So, just manage your positions wisely. Watch trends. Watch levels of key resistance and support. And just keep it smooth. Hopefully somebody somehow found this video a bit helpful. I know I'm not the best teacher, but I hope that maybe it kind of opened your eyes to do some more research of your own. With that being said, I'm just going to get a quick thumbnail real quick for the... How did I do that earlier? Let's see. This is what I want to do. Let's drop that. Okay, get right there. Excuse me. Yeah. God bless you guys. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you very soon. Peace. God bless.